This is who Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner played like. Ben Brick Simmons. Paolo Banchero is the Tobias Harris of Tony Roten's. He shot 7 for 22, 18 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. Do you know in 2K when you're shooting a 3 and you miss the shot rhythm and the ball just goes on an absurdly long arch and you know it's going to be a brick every single time just by the release? That is how has every three-pointer Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner shot, and them getting clamped up by Paul George, VJ Edgecombe, Quentin Grimes, that helped the Sixers punch their ticket to the NBA playoffs, where they're going to play the Boston Celtics in the first round. First things first, man. The NBA play-in tournament has been nothing short of cinema. It has been a lot of fun watching. Every single game has been amazing so far. The Sixers crowd energy tonight was electric. It was awesome to see so many fans come in and really cheer on the Sixers. I thought that everyone was focused on the Philadelphia Flyers and what they're doing right now, but that was a great crowd arena environment. The Sixers, and they stepped up. The Sixers stepped up. We got to give them credit. They did fight hard. It was getting really chippy this entire game. A lot of shoving between, Adem Bona, Wendell Carter, Desmond Bane, instigating all the time. Desmond Bane turned into prime Stephen Curry in this game, had 34 points, 4 for 6 from 3, 10 for 16. Curry would shoot more threes. He's playing more like freaking prime like Anthony Edwards. He's literally one of their only 3-point shooters. Every single shot the Magic took from 3, I knew it was going to be a brick. You could just tell by their release. They are one of the most brain-dead offenses I've ever seen. It was so bad. You just have a bunch of dudes who are just big for the sake of being big. They cannot shoot whatsoever. They can't dribble. Paolo Banchero taking these one-legged, trailing mid-range shots that are off balance. Brick every single time, going to the rack. Brick. You had Adem Bona with 2 fantastic, wicked blocks on Wendell Carter, dude. Just such a violent slam on the ball, getting the crowd hyped up. And then on the other end, you had Paul George brick that 3, and then possession later, Bona had another great block on Paolo Banchero going to the rack, and then Maxey missed that 3, and it was during that period in the third quarter, Sixers had like a 10 or so lead, 10-point lead. I'm saying to myself, hey, they're building themselves some momentum. They could probably seal this game a little bit early if they convert on these shots, but they were not, and it kind of made me think, are the Sixers going to choke this game? Because you had that one shooter in Desmond Bane who was not missing. I was getting a little flashbacks from when Kevin Huerter lit the Sixers up in Game 7 against the Hawks in 2021. And Desmond Bane was cooking the Sixers, but the Sixers did not let that one performance drag them down. Instead, they just locked down Paolo and Franz. I thought this game was going to, honestly, I predicted the Orlando Magic to win. I got to be 100% here. I did not think the Sixers were going to be rebounding as well as they did. Did they get out-rebounded? Sixers actually got out-rebounded 57-50, but only allowed 9 offensive rebounds from the Magic. That was just great effort on the glass for real from VJ Edgecombe. Dude, VJ Edgecombe is a dog. He is such a dog. He has that it factor. He's had some fantastic late clutch time shots this entire season. I go back to that one game winner he had against the Grizzlies. I mean, the dude dropped 34 points in his NBA debut against the Celtics, and he's like 19 years old. He's just built different. VJ Edgecombe ended up having 19 points, 11 rebounds, cooking, going to the rack, absorbing contact. He's not afraid of the moment, and that's so awesome to see that type of pairing next to Tyrese Maxey, who, despite having it still looked like a banged-up pinky, he went 11 for 25, 31 points, 6 assists, and they're saying Tyrese Maxey can't lead a team, Like, so many Sixers fans are saying, yeah, Maxey can't lead a team. You can't build a team around him. And if you look historically, with the NBA and who tends to be the best player on the championship winning team, yeah, it's usually not a guard. But the thing is, the Sixers have to at least try to build it around Tyrese Maxey. I mean, look at this roster, man. You know, Quentin Grimes go 1 for 3. Dominic Barlow 2 for 4. Now, you know, Nick Nurse, he was playing his starters heavy minutes. Kelly Oubre, 40 minutes. Kelly Oubre, by the way, stepping up once again in postseason play. I guess you can consider the NBA play-in tournament the postseason. It is after the regular season. Kelly Oubre is also a perfect player for the type of Philly energy this fan base loves. Just someone who just puts his head down, gets to work, does not let the moment get the best of him. He's going to go out there and he's going to give it all he has on the courts. And that's what he did. He gave you 5 3-pointers, 5 for 10 from 3, 50% from a guy who really isn't known as an elite sharpshooter in the NBA. Yet he was able to give you that type of production. Tobias Harris never gave you that. Tobias Harris shrunk. Tobias Harris would, have 16, his dinky little 14, 12, 16 points. That was only when, this team was already getting blown out by 20 points. And the other team wasn't even trying anymore. The Sixers were getting blown out. Tobias Harris wouldn't have this type of performance, let's be honest. But Kelly Oubre, because he's not afraid to, he's just a dog. It's just that simple. He rises up to the moment. He's not even known as a shooter, though, but he's a playoff riser. There are those type of players that are just playoff risers. He was decent in the Knicks series. He was signed on a minimum deal and was outplaying Tobias Harris on a max contract. It was just so great to see a role player on the Sixers actually step up and help out Tyrese Maxey. VJ Edgecombe, Paul George as well. Paul George was my X factor coming into this game. He was the guy who I thought needed to have a great performance in order for the Sixers to win. If he didn't, I thought the bench was going to go cold. I thought that VJ would struggle a little bit with the Magic's physicality. Turns out he just didn't. He ended up being that second option for you. But Paul George, man, despite his age and despite him being the worst contract in the NBA, his defense is still phenomenal, man. Paolo was just getting mauled going to the basket. He tried to knife his way to the rim multiple times, was always getting poked by VJ and PG. Almost mixed VG, Paul George, VJ Edgecombe. They just have great hands. They simply have great hands. That's an instinct thing. I mean, that just really is a display of their athletic ability, their twitchiness, and able to place their hand on the ball, not foul. Adem Bona was good as well, man. He only played 16 minutes. He had 3 personal fouls. I thought it was going to be a lot worse, honestly, when it came to the Magic in particular, because so much of their offense relies on getting to the line. But Bona was great. Bona was great in the minutes that he did get. You got to give a shout out to Andre Drummond as well. This dude, Andre Drummond, developed a 3-point shot before this dude did, Ben Simmons. He developed a shot before Ben Simmons did, and he was draining corner threes. The corner 3 looks pretty smooth. It looks solid, which is insane to think that Andre Drummond, of all players, if you were to fast forward or travel back in time 8 years and tell a Sixers fan that Andre Drummond would develop a jump shot before Ben Simmons, you'd probably get slapped in the face and sent to an insane asylum. But you had Andre Drummond stretching the floor for the Sixers, which was ridiculous. So all in all, I just want to see this team win. I want to see this team win. They gave heart. They hustled. It didn't really look like that for the past couple games of the regular season, playing down to competition, struggling against, the tanking Milwaukee Bucks. The end of that game, that left a really sour taste in my mouth. Am I overreacting? Is this maybe just the Orlando Magic being that pathetic of a franchise? What are they going to do with Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner? You go to that team in their roster construction, it is horrible. Their entire strategy is just Paolo ISO, Franz ISO, and then hope that Desmond Bane catches fire. I mean, you had Anthony Black, who had a career high against the Sixers, I think like their second matchup of the season. I was at that game when he had his career high only in the first half. He really didn't do much, 13 points, 6 rebounds. I mean, compared to the rest of the Orlando's bench, I thought Tristan De Silva was going to be a lot bigger for them. Bane, Bane and PG, they were my X factors, and Bane definitely got the better of that matchup. He was on fire. He was throwing up heat checks. When Wendell Carter shooting 1 for 7 as a big man, 11 rebounds. Orlando shot 26% from 3, 7 for 27. Paolo and Franz together shot 12 for 33, so that's most likely sub 40%. Just taking such smothered, inefficient shots. It was terrible. It really was a terrible watch offensively. I thought the Sixers' offensive scheme looked broken at times. Holy cow, are the Orlando Magic a mess. I don't know what they're going to do. They're most likely going to fire their coach. There are rumors that they had a lot of just internal division in the locker room and that a star player, quote unquote, wanted to fire the coach or request a trade or whatever. If that's Paolo, if that's Franz, we'll see. But I'm proud of the Sixers, man. They just hustled. They played hard. Are they gonna beat the Boston Celtics? No, they're probably gonna get swept. You need Joel Embiid in the lineup in order to make that a series. The Celtics are top 5 in both offense and defensive rating. They're elite. They have a tremendous player development system. They have arguably the best coach in the NBA in Joe Mazzulla. So they are a really well-run machine. You got Jason Tatum, who was, kind of getting back into shape. Jaylen Brown finishing, top 5, top 6 in the MVP race. Derek White, Payne Pritchard, they always kill the Sixers. The Sixers just never beat the Boston Celtics. So, I mean, I guess the main conclusions from this game is that Paolo Banchero's the Tobias Harris of Tony Roten's. VJ Edgecombe is the future. Paul George, it was good. You could have this type of performance against the Orlando Magic, not against the Celtics, not against how their potent 3-point centric offense. You got to get ahead of the curve with them. It kind of scares me too. I mean, the Sixers, they were leaving the Magic wide open all game. It's just that the Orlando Magic are stacking up more bricks than, I got to say it again, this guy and Tobias Harris in Game 6 against the Knicks. And you're probably wondering, why do you have a Ben Simmons background? Well, this is kind of what happened during the draft lottery. I wore a Ben Simmons jersey. I kind of had all the negative energy radiating out of the Sixers fan base this past couple of months, ever since the Paul George suspension, Embiid appendicitis. So I thought that if you take a negative force, you multiply that by another negative force, you get a positive force. So that's what we're trying to do here. That's why I have this Ben Simmons background. But yeah, man, let me know what you think down below in the comments about this game. I mean, dude, the Tyrese Maxey and his long-range bombs, we needed that. We needed that. His sidestep, I mean, just from way downtown near the logo, just splashing it every single time. That it felt like that dude could not miss. He wanted like his own 7-0 run alone in the fourth quarter. It really exchanging blows with Desmond Bane. Yeah, I want the Sixers to, even if they don't win the playoffs, I'm glad that they at least did not lose to this Magic team, because damn, they suck. That's it. That's all I got. Let me know what your favorite moment from the game was. Do you think the Sixers have any shot at beating the Boston Celtics? Personally, I'm of the opinion that they're going to get swept. But, we do. Crazier things have happened. You never know. When Philly teams seem to be underestimated, that's when they tend to go on some ridiculous playoff runs. You see that with what happened with the Phillies when they made the World Series. No one anticipated the Phillies going on that run. Everyone wanted the Phillies to blow it up. They were getting clowned on constantly. They did not have the best end to the season, 2022. Then, bam, they go all the way to the World Series. Had one of the most iconic playoff runs in MLB history, even though they didn't win the World Series, regardless. Then you had the Flyers, who were an afterthought this entire season. Then the last month or so, they go on they get hot. They catch fire. When they're underestimated, they perform. And they, all connect. And then they just click and go on a big winning streak. And now they're in the playoffs. It'll be fun to see what the Flyers do. But we're focused on the Sixers right now, man. Because we're Sixers psychopaths. So maybe can the Sixers take some of that plot line, develop it a little bit, and be an underdog? Because that's what Philly's all about. It's all about the underdogs. We'll see, man. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Subscribe to NZ for 3 Sixers commentary. I appreciate all the support. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. That's all I got, man. Have a good one. Peace.